Welcome to the official Lawyer Minds podcast. Lawyer Minds is an ever-growing ecosystem for all the resources modern lawyers need. As the official Lawyer Minds podcast, we'll discuss everything from the latest happenings on the website to industry news. Get ready. Here we go. It's time to dive into the minds of successful lawyers. Here are your hosts, Tad Thomas and Mike Campbell.
Good to see you, Michael.
Tad, how are you, bud?
Good. Coming off our firm retreat last week. It was good to see you in town.
Yeah, Louisville's a fun place, but it's even better with the law firm family, and we had a good time. Firm retreats are always a nice way to get connected and make sure all the oars are going in the same direction.
Yeah, we had our friend of the show and guest, Cheryl Pope, ran our retreat again. She's awesome as usual.
Incredible. She's been on the pod before, talked about how she can improve communication within the firm, and I think that was very, very helpful for us.
Yeah, we should, maybe one of our podcasts will do something on like annual meetings of firms and strategic planning and things like that, and get Cheryl back on.
There's so much, and you having run a firm, I having run a firm, doesn't matter the size. I remember Cheryl talking with me about how you were doing this 6 years ago when it was you and Lindsay, and look at the growth. So there's something to it, right? You put a stake in the ground and say, this is our North Star. We're not going to veer from it. And the strategic planning aspect of it, I think, really gets you to where you want to go.
So this time we're going to talk about the AAJ annual convention coming up in July in Seattle. And we're going to have Colleen Phalen from AAJ on to talk about why everybody needs to go. When was your first convention, Mike?
Oh, golly. Probably Boca. That was a winter convention in Boca. I want to say they did like a Caddyshack theme party. Do you remember that down there?
Yeah, it was outside. I remember that. That was good. Yeah.
And I saw Charlie Chris outside. And this is when before he switched parties, I think he may have switched parties at some point in time. And I remember I was just like, hey, Governor Chris, or he was something at that point. He had just come off. So I was like, great American. He comes over and he's like, hey, you know who I am? So yeah, of course I know you are. He goes, hey, can you help me out? And I said, sure. He goes, would you be willing to go and donate some money to my campaign? And I was like, man, always running. But it was incredible. You don't know who you're going to see and you don't know what you're going to learn, but it's going to be a lot of all of it.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. And I was looking at the agenda for speakers, and there's so many good speakers and so many good topics. It's, like, for instance, I was looking at the agenda for, the brain injury lit group. Mm-hmm. And there's so much that is developed in the treatment and diagnosis of brain injury over the last several years. Getting that kind of up-to-date information. I mean, I remember back when neuropsychs were about all you had. If you didn't have a positive injury on a CT scan, it made it really hard to make a case. But there's like so many diagnostic tools that are out there now that's far different than what it used to be.
Yeah. And so, let's say you're thinking about going to a convention you have or haven't been before, but there are so many classes and learning opportunities. In fact, what I find is I have a time choosing because there's so much to choose from. But you go to something like the brain injury group, let's say you do small auto cases, all of a sudden you find new ways to learn how to spot and identify brain injuries in your auto cases. And you have just, not only increase the value of your own, client's case, but also have developed a way to look for, hey, this is a life-altering injury. Let's make sure that we include it in our, claim here. And that is something that I have got from every single lit group or ad track that I've gone to is I immediately start thinking about, I can do this in all my cases.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, without further ado, let's get to Colleen Phalen. The Lawyer Minds podcast are brought to you by Gavel Video. Some companies do videography, but Gavel Video does high-quality cinematography to highlight your firm's successes. Also brought to you by Legal Insights, providing expert digital marketing for law firms. And finally brought to you by iLitigate, trial presentation software for trial lawyers by trial lawyers. And now to our program. Good morning, Colleen. Welcome again.
Good morning, Tad. Great to see y'all.
Good to see you. Looking forward to another great convention.
That we are. It's just right around the corner. We've got less than a month. Kicks off July 16th in Seattle, Washington.
And we've been to Seattle a couple of times before. It's one of my favorite towns.
It's one of my favorite too. And it's been quite some time since AAJ has been there. I think it's been almost 15 years, 14 or 15 years. So we're definitely going to be heading back. And I know I'm located here in Washington, D.C., but most of the country's getting hit by a killer heat wave right now. So make your plans, come out to Seattle. It's about 20 degrees cooler than anywhere else.
Let's talk about some of the things we get to do while we're out there. We got a couple things that start technically really even pre-convention, which is the Friday before. I guess that's the 15th. So we've got the Mass Tort Seminar, which is special for annual. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So we have Mass Tort Seminar, and this is really meant for those who are interested in mass torts. It's kind of everything about mass torts you were afraid to ask. It is an additional seminar to the convention, so you register separately. But like you said, it takes place on Friday. We have a great lineup of speakers. Again, if mass torts is something you are interested in, on learning more, how to get started, how to be more effective, definitely make your plans to come in early and attend that on Friday.
And then some of the caucuses are doing a public service project that day as well, right?
Yes, before every convention, we do some volunteerism and give back to the communities. So from 9 to 1 on that Friday, the caucuses and the TLC are doing their service project together. Look online for more details, but it's always a really rewarding experience and just a great way to kick off, get some, great networking and bonding in, all while giving back. Highly recommend it.
I can still remember doing Habitat for Humanity with the New Lawyers Division back when I was a new lawyer. I guess it might have been our last Seattle convention even. So a lot of fun. You just make
you have a picture of that.
I don't think you do. And I don't think we're going to see it. And I think you're not going to be my friend if we do see it. So.
Was that back whenever they used like the little flash thing?
It was
up to the right, and they had a guy that goes underneath like a cover or cape, and it was like Tad Smile. That's how long ago
it's not even black and white. It's that old kind of yellowish color. Yeah.
You had to stand still for 10 minutes just for it to come through.
Yeah,
exactly.
A lot of old jokes. A lot of old jokes going on lately around here. So
yeah.
And then so we actually, let's get back to the important stuff. We kick off convention on Saturday, and tell us about the opening reception.
Sure, absolutely. So the opening, we are so excited. It is basically just come and have an incredibly fun street party with all your trial lawyer community. So it is at the Pacific Science Center, which is at the base of the Space Needle. It's going to be just fun, literally fun and games. Beer garden. It's definitely focused on your family. Bring your family, bring your kids. There'll be guns, there'll be games with prizes. Obviously we're coming off a couple of rough years. And so we just wanted to create like a really relaxed environment. People can come, have a drink, have a bite. The food's reflecting the culture and the neighborhoods of Seattle, and just be in a really relaxed environment and get to just enjoy each other and be together. So we're definitely encouraging everyone to come to that. The Space Needle is very close to the convention center and the hotel. You can actually take the monorail, just one stop. And then there's a whole campus there at the base of the Space Needle for those who want to go exploring afterwards.
Sounds awesome. And, Seattle in July is usually really, really nice weather. So street partying will be great.
And it has less rain than almost every major city in July. In July, I will say. They only have 4 days that it rains.
I've been to Seattle a lot, and they're almost always in the summer. And I can't even think of a day that it actually rained when I was in Seattle. So it's such a misnomer when it comes to summer there.
Except, if it rains this time, Dad, we're going to look at each other and think of this exact moment.
Yeah, did I just jinx this? All right, we can cut this out?
Yeah, edit that.
Right?
Never happened.
Right.
Even if even if it rains, though, it's like one of those things where I remember the opening at the Winter in New Orleans, and that was the last time I felt like we all had the opportunity to really get together.
Yeah.
And here it is. 2 years, almost 2.5 years later, and we're talking about, hey, I know we had conference last year. It's just not the same, though.
Right. Exactly. And that's exactly it, Mike. That's what we're not looking to create this, overstimulating opening party that's just so wild. Like, people just want to be together. We want to be with our friends. We want to be with our community. We want to just connect. And that's really what this opening reception is about, for sure.
And then, my favorite part of convention has always been the education and advocacy track. And I was looking at the agenda for nursing home and traumatic brain injury group. And, there's just an incredible lineup for CLE this year. Tell us a little more about that.
You're absolutely right, Tad. We are getting speakers like, a lineup that's just incredible. They will all be there live and in person. Tad, I know you and I have spoken at length, with what trial lawyers have gone through in the past 2 years of courts being shut down to now just drinking from a fire hose and everything that's changed in that short amount of time. You really do want to be here to get that knowledge that you need right now. As you mentioned, there's a great lineup. We have Kathleen Nastri, we have Derek Walker, Eric Fong actually is talking about new strategies and what's worked in recent cases, again, showing kind of that pivot, the changes that have gone on in trial law in these past couple of years. So some things have changed, and you definitely want to be there for that conversation and be a part of it as well. And Tad, you didn't mention, but you're also speaking. So you are part of the incredible lineup as well.
Everything except mine, but I get to speak with Brian Jasper from our office on examination of directors of nursing and nursing staff and nursing home cases. So excited about that. Speaking with Brian, especially because he was a nurse before becoming a lawyer and has some great knowledge and information on that. So, I wish one of the bad things about being an officer is I don't have time to go to the education. But now, if you register, you get the video, right?
Yes. If you can either add to your registration to get all the recordings, or if for some reason you can't make it, again, understanding courts have opened up, schedules have gotten crazy, we will be having the whole program available for purchase.
Yeah. And then I think we've got it. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, there's like something else going on this year that involves Tad. I can't remember what
one of the things you were talking about, Colleen, was video again.
Hold on. There's elections this year, right?
Not for me. There's not.
That's all right. I know. See, you threw it all. You had to go with it, Tad. We had to pretend like we were voting for you. Colleen, we're going to have a guy on the podcast become president of AAJ. That's pretty cool, right?
That is incredibly cool. Our incoming president is Mr. Tad Thomas here.
Thomas.
I'm going to skip around a little, and we do, Tad hates this part, but I'm going to go with that, is we have his incoming president's party. Will be happening on Monday night. It is at the Museum of Pop, which if you have not been, it's my favorite place to go. And I know it's Tad's wife's favorite place to go now too.
That's right. That's why we're going, right?
That's why we're going there. But it is truly amazing. It is interactive and just sensory and like incredible and just like a museum you've never seen before, but it's on Museum of Pop Culture. So it's also incredibly fun. And it has exhibits, on Pearl Jam and Foo Fighters and Jimi Hendrix. And this is the part I love to say, all these legends. And now it's going to be used to honor our legend, Ted Thomas as incoming.
Thomas, legend.
Thank you. Yeah, it's going to be a good party. Like you're talking about how opening is not going to be overstimulating. I think the incoming president's party might be a little bit opposite of that. So,
and
it's going to be lively.
You may touch on this, Dad, but it's a very special event too, right? This conference is very special because of the meaning that it has in terms of, we're celebrating an anniversary. 75.
This is our 75th convention. Yeah. So we're 76 years old. And one of the things we'll be rolling out at the membership luncheon is our 75th anniversary video that Gavel did. So actually Colleen and I got to make a road trip to Portland, Oregon, and do a video in the Heathman Hotel, which is where AAJ actually started. The hotel still is standing, and we got to sit in the library and talk about the very beginning of AAJ. And so I'm really excited about that video when we'll put that out soon too.
Yeah. I have to say, I watched that video way more than I should. And every time I watch it still, I get goosebumps. Like, it's incredible. And if you're a trial lawyer, you want to be at this membership luncheon. It's coming to celebrate what trial lawyers are about. And just the genesis story of AAJ is such a reflection on that. It really is quite inspiring.
Yeah, it's membership luncheon is one of my favorite events, and it'll be good this year.
So when is the membership luncheon? Do we have to register in advance? Just talking to someone, who doesn't know.
Yeah, no, the membership luncheon will take place on Tuesday. It's really like the culmination of everything together. You do not have to register in advance. You have to be registered for a convention. Mm-hmm. But this is where we have some of our largest award winners. Last year in Vegas, we had the Floyd Family Award winner. And that, again, I mean, just even thinking about it is so inspirational and emotional. So to me, actually, the membership luncheon is my favorite event of the whole convention. We're honoring our award winners. We're honoring those in our community who have worked so hard, especially in these times that are even harder. And then at the end of the luncheon, we do get to have the official swearing in of the officers, and each officer moving up in the ladder. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but for AAJ, we're a little bit different in that we have a pretty long ladder for our officers. So some groups, you just do it for 2 or 3 years. You come in and do your thing, but it's 6+ years on this ladder. So it's really just years and years of dedication and hard work. So honoring Navan for all he has done as he goes into past presidency, and then again, honoring Tad and all that he's already done and all that we're excited to see him do. So I highly encourage everyone to attend that membership lunch. It's incredible.
It's going to be a fun one. And we've got a lot of caucus activities, New Lawyers Division, Women's Caucus, Minority Caucus. Tell us about some of the activities going on for the caucuses.
Sure, absolutely. We have our standby events. We've got the Groove going on with the Minority Caucus, the Women's Brunch, which is always a big event for us. That is on Sunday. They get great speakers. And again, it's just a really positive time and space to connect with your community there. We have the new lawyers have their huge party. Like, it's always a draw at conventions. This year's prom theme, which I love. And everyone's highly encouraged to come in their finest prom attire. I will say I forgot the, basis is that it's the new lawyers. So when I was speaking with them, I was like, oh, obviously you want like an 80s, 90s band, right? And they were like, what? No, like, it's our prom. That was like, 10 years ago. It's the aughts. And I was like, I don't even know what the aughts is.
No, I have Spandau Ballet.
Right.
In my
Yeah,
head, right?
Exactly. Yes, there's a whole John Hughes soundtrack going on in the background.
Yeah. As soon as you said that song came into my head.
Yeah, that's not it, apparently. But it'll be incredibly fun. It's at Showbox Soto, a really cool concert event going on there as well. So yeah, the caucuses, if you have not joined a caucus, been a part of a caucus, there's a caucus for almost everyone. You're going to walk in there and you're going to have your community. Like, that is your spot. So I just highly encourage everyone to reach out and get involved there.
It is such a great community. My first AAJ event in person ever was a convention. And, that's what hooked me, was just immediately being accepted into this community of people that do what we do, understand what we go through, and fight hard like we do. And it's just so nice to be around that crowd. And I always look forward to convention for that reason.
Yeah. And then Tad, are you submitting your prom photo, or I didn't get clarity?
I lost mine. They're gone, all of them.
Lost mine, the one.
All 5 proms that I went to in high school, I think they've all
You
disappeared.
5 proms?
I did, but let's not talk about that. So moving on, if you went to
they didn't
prom,
have photography back then.
Here's a transition for you. If you went to your prom, married your high school sweetheart, and started a family, graduated law school, we also have family events. Colleen, talk to us about the family events.
That's a good segue, Ted.
Great transition, Tad. Very nice pivot. I barely even noticed. So as we mentioned, again, we have the opening reception, which is very family focused. We also do realize that convention can be pretty heavy. So we encourage you to bring your children. We do have childcare services on site that run pretty extensive hours, and you can drop off for however short or long that you need to drop off your kids. There's more information on the website there, but we definitely understand, especially now, time is precious. So we're really encouraging people, bring your families, make a vacation out of it. Again, Tad, you were mentioning Seattle is so incredible that you can have a great time with your family in Seattle. And then just, even 20 or 30 minutes outside, you are in incredible wilderness spaces. And you can have, that downtown culture and museums and restaurants experience followed immediately by you're out in nature, and you're really just, it's majestic. It takes your breath away.
I've done some really nice fishing up that way. So if you like to fish, whale watching, they got that up there too. And so many things. Yeah. One of the lawyers in our office, they're actually headed up to Vancouver right after Seattle to tour Vancouver, which is another great city. So
perfect. And there's also a great wine country up there. I know a lot of our lawyers, shockingly, really enjoy some wine. So you can head out there just even 20 minutes outside of the city. They have a really great winery tasting row, basically. It's nice.
I've not heard of any bourbon coming out of the state of Washington. So anyone listening to the podcast, if there is a bourbon that you like out of the state of Washington, feel free to drop it off at my hotel room. I'm more than happy to tell you what I think of it. So
fantastic.
Colleen, thanks so much. We're looking forward to being out there, and tell us where to go to sign up if we haven't already signed up.
Sure. Easy. Just go to www.justice.org. There's a banner that pops up right there, takes you straight to it. You can also go to justiceannualconvention.org or click on any of our social media posts or anything you see online. If you have any questions, please reach out to AAJ staff. We are here for you guys, and we want to make it the best experience for you. Absolutely.
Colleen, thanks for being on again. See you out there.
Can't wait. It's going to be great.
Makes you get a little excited, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm also excited about figuring out how much it's going to cost me to purchase a prom photo of you from Reagan or one of your family members, so that we can make sure that that's included in the conference.
Yeah. Well, I'm not telling you who to talk to. I know where they're located. I know the combination of the safe, and they won't be hopefully popping up anytime soon.
Yeah. So the cool thing is you go. So I think we were in San Diego a few years ago. I went to
one
the
of my
zoo.
favorites. That was a good one.
Right. Yeah. I went to the zoo one day because Ryan wanted to go. And Ryan, for those who don't know, is involved with the production of the podcast, and he likes apparently going to zoos. But also the cool thing is he likes playing golf on Fridays, and he likes going to zoos. But it was like you got to see the city, and then if you wanted to go back and learn. You go to parties, you go to meet people, you mingle, you make connections. It is literally like your state TLA on steroids. It's just a fun time, 4 or 5 days of just, everything you've wanted to do in a city, on a business trip, family trip, whatever.
Yeah, San Diego, we had our opening reception on the flight deck of the aircraft carrier, which that was really cool. This one sounds like it's going to be kind of similar, outside street party, or like Boston a few years ago, we had it at Fenway Park. And then in Baltimore a few years ago, we had at Kaminsky, just right outside the stadium, whatever that alley is right there. And essentially they just opened up all the food vending stands. And so you got ballpark food for opening reception. It was awesome. So have a beer and a hot dog for our opening. It was fun.
Yeah. And we get to do that. And it is literally go big or go home. I was always told you got to go check out one of these opening receptions from Addits. It'll blow your mind.
Yeah.
And aircraft carrier was pretty tops.
Yeah.
That was very cool.
So, well, Mike, looking forward to seeing you out there. It's going to be a great conference.
Me too. Incoming press.
Yeah. It can't go anywhere but downhill from here.
That's the attitude, brother.
Yeah. All right, man. I'll see you out there.
That wraps another episode of the official Lawyer Minds podcast. Please consider subscribing to the show wherever you listen to podcasts. Explore the other content Lawyer Minds has to offer and engage with us on social media. Your feedback on the show and ideas for future shows is always welcomed. See you next time.